Hi everyone. So we will be solving another question on 2 pointers, which is remove element. So we are going to understand this question with the help of an example. So let's say we have a nums array and we have a value given to us. So whatever elements are there in nums which do not have a value equal to the value given, we will shift it to the left part of the array. So let's say we have k elements which do not have value equal to the value. So the first k elements in num would be those values in the same order as they appear in the array. How do we go about this question is we initialize a left and right pointer to the start of the array. So it points to 0 index. Right now my nums of right is 0. And is 0 equal to the value? No, it's not. It's not equal to 2. So what we are going to do is we are going to swap left and right. Now since they point to the same index, we've swapped it and we increment the left and right pointer. So in the next iteration, our left and right points to first index. Now we compare if our nums of right, which is 1, is it equal to the value 2? No, it's not equal. So we again swap this. It remains unchanged since left is equal to right. So we again move these indexes. So right here, what happens is we have our nums of right 2 and our value is 2. Are these equal? Yes, they are. What are we going to do? We are going to only increment right. And we are going to keep left as is because left is the pointer where the next element which is not equal to the value will go. And my right is the pointer that iterates through every element of the array. So we have incremented right. Now my nums of right is 2, which is again equal to the value 2. So we will again increment the right pointer. Now here when we increment the right pointer, what happens is my nums of right is 3, which is not equal to the value 2. So now what we are going to do is we are going to swap the values present at left and right. So here we had to initially, so actually we don't swap really because it does not really matter what the end elements are. So what we do is we basically only update the element at left. So here we had 2 at index 2. Now we are going to update it with the value present at nums of right, which is 3. Now we'll increment our left and right pointer. So when we increment left and right pointer, our nums of right is 0, which is not equal to the value 2. So again, we are going to update the element at index left with the element present at index right, which is 0, and increment left and right. So now we have done that. Now we have nums of right as 4 and 4 is not equal to the value 2. So again we are going to update the element present at left to the element present at right. So we've updated the value at index 4 to 4, which was initially present at index 6. Now again we increment left and right pointer. So in this case what happens is my nums of right is 2, which is equal to the value 2. In this case what we do is we keep the left pointer as is and only increment right. So when we increment right, we have reached the end of the array. We can't go any further. So that's where our loop stops. And one thing to note here is that my left is pointing at index 5, right? Which is basically starting this index and forward, are the number of elements which were actually equal to the value given to us in the nums array. So if we say, if our left is, let's say, at 5, so it would mean that we have 5 elements which are not equal to value. So should we count it? Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So k would be simply left. So the intuition behind solving this question is that left is the pointer which is pointing to the index where the next element has to go, and right is simply iterating through every element of the array one by one. But the thing to note here is that I have left these two variables, left and right. You could name it something according to your convenience. This was to help you understand the concept better. So we'll move to the code part now. And in the code, I have k here, which was left during my explanation. And we're simply iterating through every element one by one using this for loop for each loop. So we have num, which will iterate through every element of the array nums. Now if my num is not val, that is where we update the nums at k to num and increment k, right? And my right is incremented anyways. I mean, my num is anyways, we are iterating through every element of the array, and in the end we are returning k, which is the number of elements which is not equal to val. So yeah, this was the code. I hope I was able to help you understand the solution. And yeah, that was it from mine. Thank you.